Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new live episode of the Jay and Will Show. I'm Jay,
I'm Will.
and we're back, man.
Yeah.
First of all, um, took the week off, had some schedule issues on my end, so appreciate Will's flexibility, and we good to go now. We're back in this thing for another week. Before we hop into our predictions, I will say that I have to give credit where credit is due. Week 8 was ugly
Yeah, man.
but Will edged me out on predictions. Now we usually have like double digit, like I got 10, you got 12, or I
Yeah.
got 11, you got 9. This was 7-5. That's how bad it was that week. So with Will getting those 3, he inches a little bit closer, and now for the year, I'm at 80, you're at 78. So we neck and neck.
Jesus. Yeah.
Week 9 was really bad. Like, we didn't get the opportunity
I'm
to do a
glad.
prediction show, but I don't think it would have mattered because so much happened,
Yeah.
and a lot of stuff that we thought was like sure-ins for sure were not at all. And
Exactly.
from obviously the Cowboys losing last week to Jacksonville upsetting Buffalo to the Giants getting a win last week to I think we talked about before we started just the parity that happened even with
Hmm.
um, just so many upsets. Like
Yep.
it's hard to predict with good teams that you would expect to win not showing
Just
up
didn't
last
show
week.
up.
I don't know
Yeah. That's all it is. They
time
didn't show up.
change. Yeah, like, I don't know if it's a time change is through. Like, I don't know what you can attribute it to, but that's the first time in a while that I've seen so many good teams struggle in the same week. Obviously, very few teams go undefeated, so at some point you're going
Yeah.
to lose games. But to see teams so heavily favored just struggle, and not just like struggle, but like really have issues. Like we got the brakes beat off of us,
Yeah.
and it wasn't nothing pretty about it. So, we're almost a week removed from it, so we don't have to spend too much time on it. But I will say before we hop into week 10, we could take this time to just really just sort of talk about the Cowboy status right now.
Yeah.
So, um, some of the news that's come up recently, particularly on the injury front, um, we lost Tyron Smith to an ankle. Obviously, he didn't play last week, and he's not going to play this week. We also lost Randy Gregory. He's in the injury reserve, so he'll be out for at least 3 games.
Yeah.
When you look at our schedule, the way it is this time of year with Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
it may be 4
Four and
games.
six. 4-16.
I think it's
Yeah.
16. So ideally, you can probably expect him to miss all 4 of those games just because
Yeah.
of the situation. So it looks like based off of where things are currently that he and Tank may be coming back, if not the same week, very close to each other. So now we'll have to look at Micah Parsons playing DN, obviously, for the majority of the snaps, and then we'll have to have some other guys step up. Plus side, we'll get Michael Gallup back, and it looks like we'll get Tristan Hill back. So those bodies will be useful, obviously. And Gallup being a guy who will slide right back into the starting lineup, I'm sure, and be productive. So just looking at that landscape of things, and then obviously going into the game against Atlanta, we're hoping to kind of bounce back from a pretty embarrassing performance the week before. Just want your general thoughts on where we are right now and how you see things going into tomorrow's game.
Yeah, the injury bug is hitting us right now. Team have been fairly healthy for the most part for the season. Like just a couple of injuries. It wasn't. You had the injuries like as far as the Gallup, Tank, but the way that everybody was playing, everybody was able to pick that up. But now you're down another edge rusher, and Gregory's going to make it really tough, especially after last week. Because you need the pressures, you need the sacks, you need to be able to stop the run too. And then luckily Gallup is back, but you don't have Dex backside protected again when it comes to Tyron, because that was I think that was one that was a huge issue when it came to the offense. Like they made plays as far as getting it to 9 yards, but that last yard to get the first down was a
Right.
struggle, especially like because they know they needed to try to put up points, but it just kept being a struggle as far as trying to get those fourth downs. Like they were failing trying to get those on those fourth downs because you had your left tackle keep getting pushed into Dak and everything else that's going haywire. So now Claiborne from who used to play for Atlanta, who got his contract off of the Dallas game, out here tweeting,
All that crap.
"Yeah, have a day." Like, man, chill, bro. So, but I think they'll be able. They needed that butt whooping just to keep them from reading their press clippings. Also gives McCarthy a chance to keep them in line as far as like, yo, we got. See, you can't be out here acting like we're too good. Can't that all we have to do is just show up and we'll win. So getting their butts whooped, I think, can be a positive side. Being able to show that you don't want to catch your stride in the middle of the season. You want to do that late in the season. Yeah, start putting everything together and going from there. So yeah, I'm not too scared. Just nervous because of the injuries, but I think they'll be able to make it through on the other side of them.
Yeah, I think one thing that's been consistent all year is we have not been healthy. Like
Yeah.
there's from the jump, there's been issues with people being out. Michael Gallup got hurt week
Hmm.
one, Tank got hurt
Yeah.
week one. So,
Yeah.
we've gone the whole year without having a full complement of players. So I think there's some, you know, I guess I don't want to say benefit, but at least like
Mhm.
there's some sort of experience that we've already had to endure from the beginning of the year to say,
Yeah.
hey, we've had guys go down before, so it's not like this is our first time having to deal with this kind of adversity. Um,
Hmm.
I think the biggest thing is just now the pressure is on both lines, both
Yeah.
the offensive line and defensive line. Those, how we are able to absorb those injuries is going to really dictate how things go the rest of the year. And it's
Yeah.
weird because, just 2 weeks ago, before, or at least before the Denver game, looking at a 6-1 record, like you felt like things were like, are we good? Like, and I'm
Yeah.
not saying there's a reason to worry necessarily at this point, but it doesn't look as much of a sure thing now because of that loss coupled with the injuries that we've
Yeah.
taken on in addition to that. So I think to your point, this there may have been a wake up call to be like, look, we cannot just assume that because we're
Hmm.
the more talented team that we're just gonna go out there and beat them. It's just and there's, like we talked about before, there's evidence of that throughout the whole week last week of
Yeah.
teams potentially thinking that, oh, we could just walk in and get it done. I mean, Buffalo, who thought Buffalo was going to lose Jacksonville? Like,
Yeah.
I'm sure
And only put
Jaguars
up six.
and not even score a touchdown.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure you could ask Jacksonville Jaguars fans, and they would be like, "Nah, we're not winning this game."
Yeah.
So for them to be able to do that, it's just like, I'm not saying that the Buffalo Bills are, like you said, reading on press clippings or whatever, but
Yeah.
something happened.
Yeah.
And, it just goes to show that regardless of the talent on each that's lined up on each side of the field, at the end of the day, you got to go out there and execute. And so the
Yeah.
hope is that the depth that we've kind of talked about throughout the year shows itself, with these next couple of weeks. They're going to have, like you said, 4 games in like 16 days.
Yeah.
You just hope that they're able to kind of withstand that and come out of that on the other side at least as healthy as they are now and not worse.
Yeah.
Because as those injuries kind of stack up, it's going to be more and more damning throughout the rest of the year because we can't go. I feel like we got to win at least 3 of those games
Yeah.
because, like we talked about before, the NFC East don't matter. We're trying to get the number 1 seed, and so
Exactly.
we have to hang around and be able to contend in all 4 of those games to really have a shot. Because if we go out of that 4-game stretch at 2-2, that's not going to be good for what we're trying to do long term.
Wow.
So the pressure's on now, and we'll see what they're made of. Obviously, they've had, for the most part, the benefit of an easier schedule, but now it's like you hope that kind of helps us get through this rough patch, and
Yeah.
we're able to stack some wins together. So it'll be interesting to see how things go. I'm sure you guys already know who to pick for this game, but we'll get to that later on.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and get into Week 10 picks, man. So we
All right.
will start off with the early games. First one on the docket we have is the 5-3 Buffalo Bills visiting the 2-6 New York Jets, which we would have already said for sure is a shoe-in.
Yeah,
But obviously, the Jets have been playing better than I think many
better.
people expected. And
Yeah,
like we talked about with the Bills, stumbling and falling last week against Jacksonville, it's maybe not as much of a shoe-in as we expected, but I think we both agree that Buffalo will be taking this one, so we won't spend a whole lot of time on it. But I will share what I said before we started recording on this one. We gonna give Buffalo benefit of the doubt and not spend a whole lot of time on this game. But boy, if y'all lose this game, and then also like quick aside, they lose this game, they got New England in a rearview mirror in the division.
yeah,
That's another one that you just kind of assume that Buffalo ran away with that division, but New England's playing better now, and they're 5-4. They got Cleveland this week. They beat Cleveland. They're just saying,
right there.
saying. So we both
It's a
agree.
defense.
Absolutely. And Mac isn't playing horribly. I mean, he's not a world beater, but
that's what I'm saying. Like the defense is doing enough to win them the games because Mac, he's not out here throwing 400 yard games and
he just don't
5
lose the
touchdowns.
game, which is perfect.
Exactly.
Like for a rookie, it's like just don't cost us the game as long when as you try to develop and figure
Keep us close.
out, just don't cost us the game. So listen, Buffalo gotta be careful because they're 5-4 or 5-3, excuse me. So if they lose, end up 5-4, and the Patriots win, end up 6-4. So we'll give Buffalo a bit fair down this one, but boy, y'all better be careful. Next game, the 6-2 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, coming off another loss, by the way. I mean, they came off a bye week, but they lost to the Saints before they went into their bye week. Coming up against a 2-6 Washington football team, Tampa Bay, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially since Washington defense giving up like 30 points a game. So
that should be a beat them down, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Next game on the schedule, 4-4 Atlanta Falcons visiting the 6-2 Dallas Cowboys. I think we both agree that we picked the Cowboys in this one, but we kind of just outlined our concerns potentially. Anything about this particular game that you have any thoughts on outside what we've already discussed prior to?
Just primarily, I want to see what Kellen Moore is going to do as far as the offense now that we know that Tyron is out. I wonder how creative he'll get as far as being able to protect Dak's backside. So instead of just doing like a front with the right tackle, now you got to be able to do a little bit because he already throws the ball pretty quick. So might have to figure something out to help with that.
Yeah, from what I read, they practiced all week with still playing left tackle, which I mean, I don't know why you do that.
It's your swing tackle.
Allegedly. I don't know if you saw this, but I saw Jeff Kavanaugh earlier in the week. Shout out Jeff Kavanaugh, by the way. Talking about how like a swing tackle is supposed to be a guy who can play both tackles. Yeah. So if you can't have this guy be your swing tackle, then I don't know why you keep him because you obviously have Collins under contract, so he's going to be here. Now, it is worth mentioning that with him getting suspended, the rest of his contract is no longer guaranteed, so they could essentially get out from under that if they wanted to.
He's too talented.
But yeah, I think he's too talented. So if you don't have a guy in steel that can play both tackles, do you need a backup right tackle? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not talking about Pat this week because it sounds like Pat, like for the rest of the year, they're going to start Steele for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But after this year, you just have two right tackles, but you don't have a backup left tackle. So does it make sense? Because he basically was saying, hey, maybe you can trade Steele for a team that needs a right tackle to start, for them. Yeah. And that way he's not a swing. He's legitimately their right tackle. maybe
Yeah,
you get some value out of that, knowing that he's still on his rookie deal, so it'll be cheaper and more enticing for
100%.
another team, and you might can get some kind of valuable asset in terms of draft capital in
Yeah,
return for him.
I like that.
What are your thoughts on that?
I like it. Might be able to pull out a 4. Well, if he's their starter, you might be able to pull a 3. I wouldn't
That's
go.
true.
I wouldn't go beyond that.
Right.
But definitely, if you can get a 3, something like that, a 3 or 4, absolutely, you gotta look at that because yes, at this point, you do have to look at. Looking at improving in other areas instead of just having 2 right tackles. But on the negative side, like Collins has barely played the past 2 years
Mhm.
between injury and suspension. So yeah, he do have to take a long take a while. We still got the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Part of the off season as well. So take some time, think about it. But I wouldn't be upset if they trade him and try to get like a 3 or 4 for him. I
Because
like it.
that's the thing is that you got. I mean, we've been needing a swing tackle forever, and time to sticky bless his heart. He ain't. He's not. Maybe right. He may be in the same boat as still. Maybe they're good at right tackle, but left
Yeah.
tackle that's a turnstile. Like the folks are just getting. It's
Yeah,
like,
it was bad.
oh, you don't even
Push
need a
right
ticket.
into
Just come on by. Don't worry about it.
him. Push
Um,
right into him.
yeah, so we need to fix that. So I was a little disappointed seeing that they've been playing still, practicing still at
Mm,
left tackle still, even though obviously Lyle has to play left tackle because he was at LSU, so I get it.
yeah,
But I mean, you try one option, it clearly didn't work. You know how much Dak is valuable, how valuable he is to this team. So you can't really
yeah.
afford to be kind of, iffy about the situation. I
Facts.
would much rather move Lyle over, and then if Steele's comfortable at right tackle, just stick him back there. But one of the things I've tried to do this year is not question McCarthy so much
At
anymore.
this point,
So I mean, I don't like it, but I mean, whatever he's trying to do for the most part has worked. So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt in that regard. But there is some pause, at least for me, because of that. Yeah. So
yeah,
we'll see.
I understand.
He knows more than anybody how valuable Dak is, considering what happened last year. So I'll just trust that he figures it out, and we'll be good from there. So I think this team may be the team to figure that out on because their
Mm,
defense isn't great. So if there is a way to kind of get still some momentum off of this game to be able to propel them to the next few weeks, more power
mm,
to them. All I know
yeah,
is that we got the Saints coming up soon. So
yeah.
that's not. I guess we'll just
Don't want
pray it
them
turns back
problems.
by then because that defense,
Yeah,
no,
it's something serious. It was much better than what I expected. I knew they would be decent, but
it's tough. It's tough.
yeah,
Speaking of the Saints, the next game, 5-3 Saints visiting the 7-2 Tennessee Titans. Obviously, Derrick Henry's out for the year, but that same team without Derrick Henry went to LA and beat the Rams on the road.
yeah.
And the Saints obviously coming off a loss last week. Um, so they're kind of trying to figure it out ever since Jameis Winston's been out. So how do you see that game shaking out?
I got Tennessee. The defense been playing much better. The defense was looking for itself early on in the season. That's why like some of the early losses was like, what's happening right now? It's like
Yeah.
y'all was supposed to be the team to beat in that division, and they're finally putting it together. So I got them winning this one.
Yeah, I do too. It's just hard now because I'm saying last week has scarred me for real. Like
Yeah.
stuff that because I feel like this one should be pretty obvious considering the fact that
Mhm.
the Saints trying to figure out the quarterback situation, and obviously the Titans went, like I said, went into LA and beat the Rams last week. So obviously there's some momentum there, but the Saints defense, like we just talked about, is legit, and
Yeah.
they it. I'm interested to see what happens, knowing that teams are going to be able to just scheme away their running game because I think a lot of teams
Mhm.
now are going to try and make Tannehill beat them.
Yeah.
So I'm interested to see how they're able to do that. And the Saints have a good secondary, so it's going to be strength against strength in
Yeah.
this game. So it'll be
Yeah.
interesting to see who pulls it out. But I think I'm with you. I'm going to pick the Titans in this one just because they've kind of proven that they at least deserve the benefit of the doubt moving forward in
Yeah.
terms of picking them and thinking they're going to pull these out because I did not think they would have a chance against the Rams last week, and they proved me wrong. So hats off to them for sure. So at this point, I'm looking at them and looking at how Buffalo lost.
Yeah.
This might be the class of the AFC at this point, at least right now.
Yeah.
So with having that, I got to pick them just because they've at least earned that right. So I'm going with the Titans as well.
And plus, Julio's on the IR, and he really hasn't done as much as expected. So I don't even think that's going to hurt them that much. Having him, because Brown
I think
been
they have to
balling.
know. Oh my God, I know you know, but he like that dude is something special, bro. Like knowing that because I think the Titans kind of knew coming in like Julio's gonna be gone probably half the year because he's just not healthy.
Yeah.
And teams probably planned that as well. So it's like knowing that, and AJ's been out in and out of lineup this year, but for the most part, lining up number 11 is the number one option, and he still seems to get open on every passing play.
Yeah.
So that dude's legit, and so I can't bet against him. I don't think. Next game, 2-6 Jacksonville Jaguars visiting the 4-5 Indianapolis Colts. Jaguars pissed me off because, as you know, I picked them to beat Seattle, and I talked you into it, so my bad on that. But then they turn around the next week and beat Buffalo, so it's like, fam, I was weak on this. I was weak on. So thoughts on this game, man? How you see this one shaking out?
I got the Colts. I think they're trying to put it together. I got the Colts in this one.
Yeah, I'm never picking. I'm never picking the Jaguars to win back-to-back ever again. So they won last week. They're not winning this week. I'm going with the Colts. But I will say they it's a little bit.
Yeah.
But no, not back-to-back. No, you ain't fooling me again. Next game. Oh, I should have said this one. And this is a Fox game. No. 0-8 Detroit Lions versus the 5-3 Pittsburgh Steelers. Any chance we giving the Lions in this one? Because I'm done with them.
Nah. Yes. Big Ben, he's been playing better than what I expected, especially last week, just to keep his team in the game and then pull it out. So Pittsburgh walking out with this one.
Yeah, they're gonna walk a steamroll. I think that game. I think they'll let you down. Which the last video y'all saw me on here, I was like, they might win this game. A lot's changed in 2 weeks. Next game, we have the 5-4 Cleveland Browns visiting the 5-4 New England Patriots. Probably the game of the week, I feel like, just because we saw how much. And it's only one game, obviously, but we saw how much this Cleveland Browns offense improved with after releasing Odell Beckham. And then we have a 5-4 Patriots team who is certainly ascending as well. You talked about the defense obviously being really good and just having Mac kind of be that game manager type of quarterback has worked well for them as far as a recipe to win games. So this might be the game of the week. I have no idea who to pick in this one, so I'm gonna defer to you first. Who do you see picking this win up for?
I got New England. The way that they've played teams like Dallas, Tampa, they've been just stacking good games after good games. So, and I don't trust Baker Mayfield against a legitimate defensive coordinator and head coach like Belichick. I got New England getting this one.
So I think we're gonna have a lot of similar picks in this week. So I'm gonna go with Cleveland to break that up a little bit. New England hasn't been good at home, so
which is crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. I think they're 0-4. I think all of their home games. I think all the games they lost have been home games.
I thought they won one more.
Was that game last week at home?
No, they beat the Jets. They beat the Jets.
Oh, well, yeah, okay, that
Two
don't count. That don't
a
count.
few weeks right after the
Um,
Cowboys.
that don't count. Okay, fine. So they won one game at
Yeah,
home.
one. Yeah, one.
So yeah, outside of the Jets, they've lost all their games. So I'm that's like you said, obviously not normal for
Yeah.
them, but so that's what I'm banking on that and the fact that, like I said, we're gonna have a lot of similar picks. So I go
Yeah.
for this one. But we'll see. I mean, the Browns' offense looked legit. Now they didn't play the
Yeah.
New England defense,
Nah.
but their offense looked legit last week. So we'll see how it goes. I think that's gonna be an interesting game. I think probably the game of the week,
Yeah.
outside
It's gonna
of
be a
maybe
fun one.
the Chiefs and Raiders game. Next game, the 3-5 Minnesota Vikings visiting the 5-3 LA Chargers. I'll pick the Chargers in this one, just because I have no faith in the Vikings anymore.
Yeah.
I mean,
So upsetting.
yeah, they hang around. They
Hmm.
hang around like they don't get blown out, but they just can't get it together. And so I'm gonna go with the Chargers in this one. What are your
Yeah.
thoughts?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do Chargers as well. Just looking at the Vikings' losses, they've lost close games.
Yeah,
Uh, Lost to Bengals by 3, Cardinals by 1, Browns by a touchdown, Cowboys by 4, and then Ravens by 3. So it's decent teams that they've been losing to, but the teams that they have beat are non-playoff teams. So and the Chargers are going to be in the playoffs. So I got
right.
Chargers as well.
Which is unfortunate because I mean you'd think they'd be able to put it together, but
Yeah.
one less team for NFC first to have to worry about. Um,
Facts.
Next game, guys. This one means more now than it did probably at the beginning of the week, but 4-5 Carolina Panthers visiting the 8-1 Arizona Cardinals. Obviously, if you have not been living under a rock, you'll know that Cam Newton has been re-signed with the Carolina Panthers, with Sam Darnold being on the IR because he has a broken shoulder.
Yeah.
Um, I would assume, I don't know, because he got signed late, and this is not the same team as that was there when he left. I'm assuming he'll play this week. Obviously, the playbook is different, coaching staff is different, so it's not like him being able to roll out of bed and have the same playbook that he had before he left. But one would assume he's playing. I don't think it matters in this game particularly because of the fact they're playing the Cardinals. So I'm gonna pick Arizona, but I do appreciate. I like that. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him
Yeah,
to
me
be able
too.
to kind of get this opportunity again with this team in particular. So I'm happy for him. He'll just be 0-1 coming back because I don't think they're beating the Cardinals. How you feel?
I think this game might end up being a little bit closer than expected because Kyler is a game time decision. I haven't heard about Nuke, what's happening with him so
Mhm.
far, but yeah, I'm not just going to throw a pick out in the wind. I'm going to go Arizona.
Yeah, but
It's not
this,
close
yeah,
enough
not this.
to pick them. Yeah,
I mean, Colt McCoy played really well last week. I
yeah,
mean, I was shocked by that. Not that he's not good, but like he wasn't just like he didn't play like Cooper Rush, where he was just like, hey,
yeah,
just don't mess it up. He was
yeah.
balling in that game. Like
Yeah,
he played really
yeah.
well. I think he only had 6 incompletions for the whole game. Like
That's
he was
crazy.
out there dealing. So shout out to Colt McCoy, man. I didn't even know he was still in the league, but here we are.
Yeah.
Next game, the 3-6 Philadelphia Eagles visiting the 5-4 Denver Broncos. I'll let you pick that one first because who knows? Who
All I
knows
know is
who's going to take
Denver.
this
No,
series?
after what Denver did last week, they better show up and beat the brakes off these dudes. Man, don't be. I mean, they can't be showing going this game and then end up getting
I
embarrassed by the
don't
Eagles.
know. I don't
Nah.
know. Like,
Nope.
I just feel like they got so up for this game. Like, bro, like,
Yeah.
even when hearing like Tim Patrick here talking about, oh, we took it personal when it went 4-4 down.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? Like, everybody goes 4-4 down now. We have a
Exactly.
team in your division and the Chargers that go 4-4 down every single time. Like, what are
Yeah.
you talking
Exactly.
about? It was just weird. But um, yeah, the Eagles stink. I'm going with the Broncos in this one. But I will say I'm gonna be so mad. I'm gonna be so mad if they don't show up for this game. Like y'all did last week just to lay an egg against the Eagles. Oh, I'm gonna be hot because all you'll hear is, oh, the Cowboys got blown out by the Broncos, but the Eagles went into Denver and beat them. Like,
Yeah.
Next game, 3-5, Seattle Seahawks visiting the 7-2 Green Bay Packers. We didn't get a chance to talk about the Aaron Rodgers situation, but there's not much to talk about. He's white.
No. Yeah. Exactly.
So obviously you'll have him coming back, and then you'll have. It sounds like Russell Wilson will be cleared to play in this game as well. So a different Seattle team going into Green Bay for this game. You think Seattle may have a chance in this one?
I think they do have a chance. They've always played great games, like Green Bay and Seattle. Like no matter if the teams have been great, if they've been bad, it feels like just a good rivalry game. But Green Bay's defense has been playing pretty well. Pretty well. I got Green Bay in this one. I think Russ, he's going to try to cook, but he's been out for so long. You got to get that rust knocked out. So I'm going to go with Green Bay this week.
That's the one thing, man. If he would have been able to get a game in before this game,
yeah, exactly.
I feel like that they would have had a better chance.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that, assuming that all things are equal and Aaron comes back and is Aaron, I don't know if that TL defense has enough to stop them or to at least give them enough, give the Seattle offense enough opportunity to play with them. So
yeah,
just because Seattle's defense is so porous, I just think Green Bay is too much for them. So I would pick the Packers in this one. But again, like I said, I would give them more of a chance if Russie had more time before this game. This being the game he's coming back on,
it's tough.
But I'm rooting for Seattle in this game because I think Green Bay will lose again. So I would love for Seattle to come out and win this game for sure. And with the NFC, who knows, bro? I mean, it's certainly possible. Next game, Sunday night game this week. The 5-4 Kansas City Chiefs visiting the 5-3 Las Vegas Raiders. The Raiders got a lot going on.
Yeah.
A lot going on. From Gruden to Ruggs to Arnett, I believe his last name is. Just a lot of.
What happened with him?
So I believe his name is Damon Arnett. He was he was a corner they picked up in the draft. I want to say 2 years ago, maybe last year. He was at a party and got caught online. Someone recorded him waving a gun in that particular party. I think they got him for brandishing a firearm. So they released him. He was a high pick. I want to say he was like a first or second round pick that year. And they released him because the video came out of him getting pissed off and arguing with somebody and pull out a gun. So
Jesus.
They got a lot going on.
That's at Vegas.
Yeah. It's tough. So I don't know. This is a perfect opportunity for Kansas City to get it right. They get a team that's got a lot going on, but man, is it hard to trust Kansas City's offense right now? I'm gonna go with Kansas City in this one just because of the opponent, but I will say that defense better be ready for Derek Carr, whichever Carr it is. I think it's Derek. They better be ready for that dude because he been balling, and that defense is not very good, and so it could be a shootout in this one. But I got Kansas City winning this one because I think they have to. You can't if they go 5-5, they got to keep up with the Chargers. If the Broncos win, they'll be 6-4, so they got to keep up in that division. So I'm gonna go with Kansas City. How you feel about that?
I'm going with Kansas City as well. I'm not going to choose a team that just lost to the Giants last week. Nope, not happening. Keeping it simple.
How you do? Y'all had one job, bro. One job.
Man. And y'all couldn't even show up for it. Man, nah, I'm not choosing y'all. Not this week. Not this week.
Not yet.
And not in 2 weeks either.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. But watch that be the game they put together. I mean, because why not?
Of course. Yeah.
And then the last game on the docket, Monday night game. Is this the game that Manning has taken a bye? They did that last week, so I'll be back for this game. He'll be back.
Yeah. Well, and I looked on the schedule. I didn't see it. I can't tell if they're going to do it or not, but I'm here for it if they do. I let that man in cast.
I'm pretty sure they're doing it because I think they said for the Giants game they were taking a week off and they'll be back the following week. So I'm pretty sure they'll be back for this game. Because I didn't watch last week because I'm like if they're not doing that, I'm not.
I didn't watch it.
So this game Monday night, the 7-2 Los Angeles Rams with their newly acquired receiver Odell Beckham Jr., but minus their recently injured receiver Robert Woods, going up against the 3-5 San Francisco 49ers. I don't think it matters if they don't have Robert Woods, and they've already confirmed that Odell Beckham will be playing. He has to now, damn near now that Robert Woods is out. It's a divisional game, so who knows, right? But I feel like the Rams are going to take this one. How you feel about this one? You don't have to be different. I mean, this is
it's because it's divisional and it's in San Fran.
It is divisional.
But I'm going Rams as well. Because it is kind of crazy when it comes to for the Rams. Like, what's Deshaun left because he wasn't getting the ball enough. And then Odell comes. Everybody's like, "Why did Odell come?" When Deshaun said he wasn't getting the ball. And then, like 2 days later, so Bobby Trees blew out his knee at practice. So
that's wild.
There it is.
That is wild, bro.
Timing.
That was the thing. Was like, okay, are there no balls around here to get guys happy? And now it's like that's just amazing. Like I can't. That's just like some kind of divine intervention that came into play because what are the odds? Because I may have kind of considered them, but I was for sure he was going to Green Bay. Like I felt like that was like a lot.
Automatic,
Green Bay. So to see Rams, I was like, really? Like, But I mean, you have basically a 1-year rental on this guy, and if I understand it, like you want to win a championship, like go to a team that's already got, it'd be like going to the Bucks, like going to a team that is already established and has got a caliber roster to make that step. But I will say, Matthew Stafford, you're on the clock, buddy, because if it don't work, they're gonna blame you. So just be prepared. Like, obviously, we know Matt Stafford is the next playoff game he wins will be his first. He's not won a playoff game in his entire career. Obviously, he played for the Lions. People have their opinions about that one divisional game they played against the Cowboys, but that's neither here nor there. But the pressure's on him, man, because I'm telling you, he'll get the blame if they don't win the championship this year. Like, that's just what it is. Whether it's fair or not, doesn't matter. It's on him now. So we'll see if the trade was worth it because they gave up the whole house and then some. So they like the Mavericks. They don't have a first round pick to like 2026. But I get it.
But at least they got a squad though.
I was saying at least they got the talent to justify why they gave up all those picks. But we just like. But that's a different show, a different sport, different podcast. But yeah, that's it for week 10, guys. Well, any final thoughts for wrap this bad boy up?
Just thousand to show up and go ahead and take care of them Falcons.
It'll be interesting. All right, guys. Well, that's gonna do it for the Jay and Will Show. As always, I mentioned in every episode. Don't forget to like this video, share the video, subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you want to see anything else, feel free to comment. If you want to put your picks down for the week, obviously make sure to go ahead and do that as well. We love the engagement, so we appreciate all you guys that have already subscribed. And if you have not, I'm not sure why you haven't. So go ahead and click that subscribe button. But that's it for us, guys. So for Will, I'm Jay, and we are out.